Well, it's a fairly easy-flowing frontier this morning. It's the first working day of the new year following the signing of the in-principle agreement on New Year's Eve, which averted the need for a hard Brexit. But of course, there are COVID restrictions on both sides, so we're not seeing as many people coming across the frontier as we would normally do. 8 municipalities in the Campo area are closed off from the rest of Andalusia until the 10th of January due to a spike in COVID-19 numbers. This means travel is restricted in or out of the area, as well as between the towns, including La Línea. We've been here before, although this time Spain is not in lockdown, while Gibraltar is. Excuse me, what documents did you have to show when you were coming through the frontier?
My passport, my residency certificate. I had my contract, of course, but they didn't ask to see that.
Okay. All
yeah,
right,
but otherwise all good.
A mí solamente me han pedido el DNI.
El DNI, yo tengo DNI.
Solo eso.
Solamente eso. No me molesta para nada. Está muy bien, venga.
Yeah, just my Spanish residency and my passport.
And no work contract?
No.
No, solamente el carnet de identidad y contrato nada más.
Passport and residency card.
Despite some degree of normality at the frontier this morning, there were reports on social media over the weekend of people having their shopping taken away from them at the frontier. This coincides with what would have happened with a hard Brexit. News also emerged that they were asking for passports at the border. According to the Gibraltar government, this is because Spain has to ask the EU to recognise the in-principle agreement until such a time as a treaty is reached. This initial recognition could take a few days. According to Spanish law, Gibraltarians will get a 6-month respite in Spain on 3 key issues: working rights, free healthcare and driving licences. There will be no change on any of these until the 30th of June. But that has nothing to do with the in-principle agreement on Gibraltar, but are the extension of rights as mitigating Brexit factors. Therefore, during these in-limbo days, checks at the frontier might be applied differently, with some officers potentially applying no-deal rules and thorough checks. These could include verification of travel documents, verification that entry requirements are satisfied, and that the person crossing doesn't pose a security risk. Everyone crossing the frontier should have a valid passport with at least 6 months left on it and under 10 years old. With current COVID restrictions in place, you'll need both your passport and your identity card if you're crossing into Spain. There are also restrictions on goods for personal consumption. Meat and milk products are not allowed into Spain. Special dietary products, powdered infant milk, honey, live oysters or mussels, baby food and pet food are exempt, but can't exceed 2 kilos. You can take fish weighing under 20 kilos. The crossing of pets remains unaffected. Despite this, measures today appear to be more COVID-related than Brexit. Coming into Gibraltar this morning, Spanish officials are asking Spanish nationals for their ID cards as normal. However, non-Spaniards are being asked for proof of residency, their passport, and in some cases a work contract. And that is providing a first filter for people coming into Gibraltar. Of course, we know the Chief Minister has said that he doesn't want to see any restrictions here at the frontier, although people are advised not to go into Spain unless absolutely necessary. Now, heading out of Gibraltar, I've spoken to the Guardia Civil and he says they're just asking for either passports or ID cards as normal. Although things do seem relatively relaxed, it'll be a few days until the dust settles as new instructions are received by the EU. Meanwhile, don't forget, COVID measures are in place on both sides of the border.